Hello, everyone. Welcome to Linebreaker Show number 7. My name is Game Day Greg alongside Benny Buckets. We are here again for you to give you a college football show, all 44 games. We're going to pick again on Saturday. We had so much fun the first time. We're going to do it again. And then we will also give you guys a little bit of a sneak peek into the NBA and NHL season with 3 futures for each. But yeah, Ben, why don't you give us the record for the college football that we did last week? Pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, the college football last week was actually 46 games. I guess there were a couple more teams on bye weeks. Also had a couple more early. You had a Tuesday night game this week, the first Tuesday night game of the year for all of you. I know that many of you watched it with bated breath as you saw the upset by Louisiana Lafayette, now going by Louisiana, beating outright as a 5-point underdog, beating outright Appalachian State at home. So I know many of you were watching that with just a sheer amount, a sheer sense of complete enjoyment, and many viewers were in on that. So yes. People watching that, I know as many people watched Sunday Night Football as watched that game on Tuesday night on ESPN2, the ESPN2 special. But anyway, without any further ado, last week on the 46 games, yours truly went 24-22. So slightly above 500, and Game Day Greg went a straight up 500, 23-23 on the season. So very impressive there from that standpoint. So we are going to go ahead here, and we are going to go and pick the college slate for this week. I'm trying to get it up here on my Caesars app, but it seems to be a little with the technical difficulties. I know Greg oftentimes complains about the white screen. Well, this time they'd actually truly. I was going to show a truly white screen, but now it seems to be working. So excellent. That's the NFL. I don't want that. Here we go. Okay, excellent. So we will start off. We are only doing, folks, for those who are watching, we are not doing the Thursday night games. There are 2 of those tomorrow night, and there are 4 on Friday night. We are not doing those. I will say this, Game Day Greg, will we allow a bonus? We'll allow 1 bonus pick for Friday. Is that okay? It won't be for the record. It won't be for the record, but I feel like because if you're on the game, I feel like it will be a disservice to the viewers if we are not giving them
Yes. We it won't count towards the record, but we will give it out because it will help our viewers.
Okay, excellent. So folks, I got in on this early. I got on this on Monday night, as a matter of fact. You got it. You see a line on a Monday and you like it, you got to get in on it because chances are it's going to move in the opposite direction. So we got in on Syracuse, the Syracuse Orange. This is a Friday night special, ESPN special. It's an ESPN doubleheader. The first game is 7 p.m. in the Carrier Dome. We got in on Syracuse plus 14. That line has since dropped to plus 13.5. I still like it at plus 13.5, but I love it at plus 14, getting a full 2 touchdowns. So Syracuse plus 14 is your bonus pick. Of course, as you already know, please gamble responsibly. Future past performance is not indicative of future results, and please only gamble with money that you can afford to lose, as that may be happening in this circumstance, especially when you bet on sports and you're laying 10% juice. So just bear that in mind. So please be careful. And as always, if you do have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. So we, of course, cover that for us here. So to start off the Saturday slate here, we have the first game I have on the docket here. We have it's moved around a little bit here from where I saw it, but Florida. We have the Florida Gators at LSU. I like the under in this game. I did like Florida minus the points earlier in the week. It was at 9, but it has since moved to 11.5. But that's way too many points to lay in Death Valley to the Bayou Bengals. So give me Florida under the 50. Actually, now it's moved up. So it's moved up since early this morning when I did this pick. So now it's 59.5. So it's going to be Florida under the 59.5 at LSU. Next up, we have for you guys Ohio, the Ohio Bobcats. +9 at Buffalo. So we're going to take Ohio in the MAC for the MACtion +9 at Buffalo. Next we have.
Are we using Caesars Sportsbook?
We are using Caesars. Yes, the Caesars, the great Caesar. Yes.
Okay, I had 9.5 there. I don't know.
I had 9. So maybe I am using Caesars. This is in fact Caesars. So
Caesars. Okay.
All right, so you had 9.5. I have it. I'm looking at it right now live. It says 9. So maybe
9. Okay, we'll go with 9.
We'll go with 9. We'll go with 9. Next up, I had Cincinnati. So Cincinnati, this is a game that I don't feel very confident about, but we're going to go with Cincinnati minus 21 at home against UCF. Next up, this is a game I really like quite a bit. I'm on this game. I also got this one on Monday, and true to form doesn't mean I'll win, but true to form, I was right to get on this game when I got on it because I got a minus 3.5. And I got an Arkansas minus 3.5. It is now at 4.5. I still like them at 4.5, but I liked them more at 3.5. But give me Arkansas minus the 4.5. Cincinnati, Ohio. So Minnesota, the next game we have up here is going to be the Golden Gophers of Minnesota taking on the Nebraska Cornhuskers. I like the under on this game, 48. I don't like either side. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of scoring in this game, so give me the under. Next up, we have Oklahoma State. Now, when I got this game earlier, this shows you folks, like even within, I did this about 4 or 5 hours ago, the lines move. Even on a Wednesday, the lines move. So I liked Oklahoma State plus 5.5. They were at 5.5. Now they're at 5. So we'll go with what's live for the viewers, for the content. We'll give you the most up to date, even if it means that we gotta take a little bit of a haircut here. So we're gonna go Oklahoma State plus 5. Next up for us is going to be Rutgers. Let me make sure. Rutgers minus 2 at Northwestern. I like Rutgers minus the 2. Then we like Michigan minus 4.5 at Indiana. They won for us last week. They cashed for us. We were on that game. Actually,
Michigan State or Michigan?
Michigan State. I'm sorry. Michigan State minus 4.5 at Indiana. We were on that game last week. When they played Rutgers, they were minus 4. We got them at minus 5.5. It got all the way down to minus 4 before ending up on minus 4.5 before the game, and they won by double digits. It was an absolute blowout winner, of course. So we like Michigan State again. Texas A&M. Texas A&M is playing Missouri in a Big 12 matchup. We like A&M again minus the 9. Missouri's not very good, folks. So I'm not on this game. I would fade it personally, but I had to pick it. I'm going to go A&M minus the 9. Next up is going to be Tulsa, the Tulsa Golden Hurricanes at USF, South Florida Bulls. The game will be played at Raymond James Stadium, which is where USF plays their home games. They share that stadium with the Tampa Bay Bucks. I like Tulsa minus 8.5. USF has been pretty bad for the last number of years. So give me Tulsa minus the 8.5. Next game up is going to be Duke at Virginia. I'm going to go under the 69. Duke does not have a very prolific offense. Virginia does, but it's a lot of points for one side that probably was not going to score a whole lot. So give me under the 69. Again, not on this game. I will disclaim when I'm on a game, I'll let you know I'm on it. So, folks.
Yes, he will.
Yes, I will. Yes. So, next game I have, I saw earlier is Ball State minus 1.5, but now it's down to minus 1. So we're going to go with the minus 1. I do like Ball State minus the 1. I think they're generally pretty good team in the MAC. Eastern Michigan is usually pretty bad. So give me Ball State on the road minus 1. Next up here is Akron at Miami of Ohio. This game is at 19.5. The spread, Miami of Ohio's favored. I'm taking Akron here. Akron is a terrible team, folks, but Miami of Ohio should not be a 19.5 point favorite over Miami-Dade High School in Miami, Florida, okay? Let alone an actual Division I team, though Akron probably should be more of an FCS team rather than an FBS team. But be that as it may, give me Akron plus the 19.5. Next up, we've got Troy at Texas State. I've got Texas State here plus 7.5. They had they did beat me last week. I'm a little bitter. They did beat me there on the last play of the game. We had USA minus 4, and Texas State had the ball with 5 seconds left and scored a touchdown to tie the game, and then won in overtime to beat USA or University of South Alabama. Second time this year I've lost in South Alabama. A little bitter. Probably will not play South Alabama again this year, folks. But give me Texas State and San Marcos at Ed Wacker Field plus a 7.5. Yes, we do even have stadium names for some of these obscure schools.
Yeah, I was gonna say we should name every stadium name for these home teams here. But,
yes, well, that I don't know. I just know that one because I watched the game last week. Yes, I did
Gotcha.
watch. Yes, I was one of 4 people in America watching South Alabama, Texas. So, other than the family members of those who were actually in the game. So,
Right.
but that's what we do here. That we love the fans. We love the viewers. We do. That's what we do to provide good content. You got to watch. You got to watch some of these obscure games, folks. That's how you got to do it. So, next up we have. 1 second here. Oh, okay. This one's kind of off the beaten path here. I got to go to the other side of the sheet. Miami Hurricanes at North Carolina Tar Heels. I like the over the 63. North Carolina can't stop anybody, and they have Sam Howell. So that's the reason I'm going with the over on this one. Next up is BYU at Baylor. BYU coming off a crushing defeat, a upset loss to Boise State at home in Utah. They're going in as 6.5-point underdogs, and I like them for a rebound this week. I just don't see them twice in a row getting crushed. I think that BYU will cover the number. They may not win the game, folks, but they'll cover the number. Not on this one either. This one I am on. This is a Greg Newman special, a Hattiesburg special, as we say, a game day Greg special. I'm sure he'll be camped out, tailgating 4.5 hours beforehand, jumping through tables for this one. It is the UAB Blazers. UAB Blazers at game day Greg's hometown Southern Miss Golden Eagles. It worked out so well for me last week with UTEP at Southern Miss. Let's run it back. I'm on this game. Let's run it back. Give me UAB. Last time we were only laying, I believe, 5. We were only laying 3 points or 2 points. This time we got to lay a whole lot more. We got to lay 8 times that. So we're laying 16. But we like UAB here. I saw this game. It was at 16 yesterday. Then it was down to 15.5 earlier today. Then when it went down to 15.5, money came back on UAB. It's minus 16. So give me UAB minus 16 all day. The next game we have up here is Fresno State at Wyoming. Fresno State is a 3.5-point favorite. We're going to roll with them. I just think they're a better team than Wyoming overall, playing a better conference. So we're going to go with maybe the same conference, but anyway, they're towards the upper echelon of that conference. I believe the Mountain West Conference. Not sure if Wyoming's in Mountain West or something else, but be that as it may, give us Fresno State minus a 3.5. The old David Carr, Derek Carr alum, alma maters for those guys. Next up, we have Purdue at Iowa. I've got to look on my sheet for this one. Yes, I have the under. Give me the under on this. Neither team scores a whole lot. Iowa's got one of the top 3-4 defenses in all of college football. Purdue has a pretty good defense as well. Give me the under 43. It's not a whole lot of points, but I don't feel good about laying 11.5 with a team that scores 20 every game, which is what Iowa does. So give me the under on the 43. Next game we have is Old Dominion and Western Kentucky. I got this one earlier. We 66.5. It's now up to 67. So it's moving towards the over here, but I like the under. I like the under just because I don't think Old Dominion's not going to score a whole lot. I would expect Western Kentucky to blow them out. The spread's 12.5, but I don't think they're putting up 50 on Old Dominion. I think it'll be, and I don't think Old Dominion's putting up more than 20. So give me the under on this. Too many points, not on the game. Next up, Pittsburgh at Virginia Tech. We're going to go with the over here, folks. We're going to go with the over on the 57.5. Pittsburgh scores a lot of points and they give up a lot of points, which is why we like the over here. So we're going to go with Pittsburgh on the over 57.5. Next up, I kind of went back and forth on this one. I kind of feel a little bit validated now. Earlier in the day, this was Toledo at Central Michigan. Toledo was -5. Now it's at 5.5. We're going to go with the -5.5 because that's the current line, but we like Toledo minus the 5.5. We like the fact that it's moving in our direction. Moving up the spread. So give me that. Next up is Colorado. A lot of money must have come in on this game. Arizona Wildcats at Colorado. Arizona has the longest losing streak in FBS. They have not won a game in the year and a half, in 2 seasons, folks. They have not won a game since 2019, I believe, like September of 2019 too. So it's been a long time, over 2 calendar years for Arizona. This probably is their best chance to win a game in the Pac-12. Arizona and Colorado are the 2 worst teams in the Pac-12. So if they have a chance, this is their chance. I don't like it though. I like Colorado. I don't trust Arizona. I wouldn't trust Arizona with a long rod or or I was going to say 10-foot pole, but it's too cliche. But I don't trust Arizona. I hate this game. I am not touching this game. This is the toilet bowl of the Pac-12 and is an embarrassment to Pac-12 football, I'm sure. But I'm going to go with reluctantly, I am going to go with Colorado minus a 6. Colorado minus a 6 here. Next up, we have Bowling Green at Northern Illinois. We're going to go with the over here just because it's only 45 and I don't feel comfortable on either side. So give me the over on the Bowling Green, Northern Illinois over the 45. Next up, Kent State at Western Michigan. We are going to go with Kent State. Oh, no, excuse me. We're not going to go with Kent State. We're going to go the under. We're going to go the under on the 66. Kent State was 4-1 against the spread to the under. It was 4-0 rather before they played Buffalo last week. We gave you that Buffalo game as the best bet. That was the only one we didn't win on last week as a best bet. But they're still 4-1 against the under. So we'll go with the under again, and hopefully we ring through this week with the under 66 on this game. Next is a game I'm a little. This is like one of those like what are the odds makers thinking kind of lines to me. This is very strange to me. We have an undefeated Kentucky team, 6-0, against an undefeated Georgia team. Granted, the game's in Athens between the hedges, but 23 points. 23 points. I don't know. It just seems like a lot to me. It feels like the odds makers want you to like they're begging you to take Kentucky here, and I'm gonna fall in the trap. Usually when you see the lines that don't make any sense, you should go the side that doesn't make any sense, which would be Georgia here minus 23. But it's just too many points. Kentucky's played really well. They limited LSU last week, I believe, to 14 points, if I'm not mistaken. Their defense is really good. I just don't see Georgia putting up 40 on them, and I think they'll score more than 10 points. So give me Kentucky plus the 23. Don't feel good about that game at all. It's just too big of a number. Next up, Texas Tech at Kansas. Kansas is the worst team in the Big 12, has been the worst team in the Big 12. And probably for the rest of our lives will be the worst team in the Big 12. They are awful. They're awful. And even the great UB alum coach, Lance Leipold, probably won't be able to save it.
Yeah, how many ex-UB coaches do they have?
Turner Gill went there. He wasn't able to save it. They only got worse with him. Les Miles went there, and they were supposedly, miles to go there on the old ESPN Plus documentary. They supposedly were getting better, but then he got canned because he did some illegal touching there when he was the coach at LSU. That was a penalty, and same result when you do with the illegal touching or the illegal typing, like John Gruden. Yeah, you end up out of a job. That's what happened to Les Miles. So not much hope there for Kansas. Give me Texas Tech minus 16.5, just because no matter who's playing Kansas, you should almost always take the other side. So give me Texas Tech. Not on the game, folks. Not on the game. Next up here, we have Vanderbilt playing South Carolina. Vanderbilt, again, probably the two worst teams in the SEC. South Carolina got absolutely smoked by Tennessee last week. And Vanderbilt was shut out by Florida 42-0 in the Swamp. They may be one of the top 5 worst college programs, Vanderbilt, in all the country. They're awful. But give me the under on this game. We had it as 51 earlier, but listen, lines move. That's why we call this show Line Breakers, because we know what side the line's going to move in, and we break the line. That's why we got the under on this. So give me under the 50.5. I don't think either one of these teams is going to score very much. Next up, one of my favorite teams out of the Conference USA. I love my Conference USA and my South and my not the Southwest Conference, what the hell's the shoot? Oh, Sun Belt Conference. Sorry, Sun Belt is Southwest. Sun Belt Conference. I love my Conference USA and my SBC schools, Sun Belt Conference. My favorite school, the undefeated University of Texas San Antonio Roadrunners. We gave you these guys as a winner a couple weeks ago over Middle Tennessee State. I am not on this one. Just too many points here against the Rice Owls out of the great city of Houston. but give me UTSA in the Alamo Dome minus the 18.5 for our purposes here. Next up, this one, again, doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I got to be honest. Utah State was undefeated before they took on BYU a couple weeks ago. They lost a couple straight games, but they are one of the better teams in the Mountain West. So I'm a little surprised that they're only a 7-point favorite to take on UNLV in Vegas at Allegiant Stadium. Again, it's just one of those lines where it doesn't make sense. The bookies are begging you to take Utah State, so you should probably take UNLV. Again, I'm going to fall for the trap. Give me Utah State minus 7. UNLV is just kind of like Kansas. They're the worst team in the Mountain West. They've always been the worst team in the Mountain West. And your grandchildren's grandchildren will know that UNLV is the worst team in the Mountain West. So it's part of just the indoctrination of UNLV football. So give me Utah State minus 7 because they're not UNLV. Next up, another interesting game. Again, one of the worst teams literally in all of college football in the FBS. That is Louisiana Monroe Warhawks. They are getting 32.5 at home against Liberty, the Liberty Flames, the religious school of, as many may know, Jerry Falwell founded, the great Jerry Falwell. I am going to take, I can't believe I'm saying this, 32.5 is a ton to lay. Give me Liberty minus 32.5. They're probably going to win by 50, but I'm not on this game, but give me Liberty minus 32.5. All right, next up, Colorado State at New Mexico. Give me Colorado State minus 10.5. This was at 9.5. New Mexico, another really bad team out of the Mountain West. Not quite as bad, in my opinion, as UNLV, but they're up there. So give me Colorado State minus 10.5 after an impressive win last week against San Jose State. This is a big bounce back game, I think. I think that Alabama, after losing last week to Texas A&M and College Station, is going to come with a big effort here. I expect them to absolutely ransack Mississippi State. As they would say on One Bills Live, this is a woodshed game, folks. This is a woodshed game. Give me Alabama minus a 17. This is not so much about Mississippi State. This is just about the fact about Alabama is going to be angry, and I expect them to come in with all sorts of body parts on fire here, folks. And
Ben, let me pause the break. You are rolling, by the way, and I'm sure our viewers appreciate it. But I do want to give out the live lines. Alabama is minus 16.5.
Oh, is it? Oh, well,
Yes.
I have it on Caesars on the sports book here, 17. Okay, so we'll go with 16.5. It's weird. The Caesars app and the Caesars Pennsylvania has different lines here. So okay. 16.5. We will go.
And then Liberty, I have 32 as opposed to 32.5.
Okay, we'll go with 32.
32. Help you out a little bit and help our viewers out. And this is a good time to remind our viewers, as we're going back and forth looking at different lines, to shop as many sports books as possible. Absolutely. We recommend 3 to 5, but you can go more. You're placing your hard-earned money on these games. You've got to look for the best value. Shop for the best value, and you won't be sorry. So yeah, okay. 3 to 5 sports books. But anyway, sorry to.
That's okay. No, that's okay. That's okay. You got to interrupt the roll sometimes. I understand. So this game is by far the highest. Not by far. It's the highest. Ironically, the 2 highest totals I've seen this year both involve the home state university of Mr. Newman there, Ole Miss, the Ole Miss Rebels, and the Heisman hopeful Matt Corral, who I believe probably is moving up to favorite now after the loss by Bryce Young last week. I believe that is the case. I had a little sprinkle on Matt Corral there. We'll sprinkle on Matt Corral at plus 225 odds to win the Heisman Trophy there. Put that on after the game on Saturday. After the win against Arkansas. But anyway, the total in this game is 82. I just want to point that out. I'm not playing the total. It's just too high. I think it'll probably go over because both these teams score a ton, that being Ole Miss and Tennessee. But I like Ole Miss minus 2.5. This game was at 3 all week. It just moved to 2.5 within the last couple of hours. So give me Ole Miss minus 2.5 at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, the alma mater of the great Peyton Manning. Next up, we have Stanford Cardinal at Washington State. I don't have a feel for this one, folks. I saw Stanford play here in the Valley, in Tempe, not in person, on TV, but against Arizona State here last Friday night. Stanford was not impressive, folks. They put up 17 points. I think they lost 38-17 to Arizona State. Not impressive offensively. And Arizona State was essentially able to shut them down pretty well. And Washington State's coming off a big win, a big upset win. They were 3.5-point underdog at home against Oregon State. So I'm going to go with Washington State here. Give me Washington State plus the 1.5. Don't have a great feeling on this one, other than the fact that Stanford did not look good on the road last week, and Washington State did look good at home last week. So give me Wazoo, the Wazoo Cougars plus 1.5. All right, we're winding down here, folks. Only a few more games. Next we have up here is North Carolina State Wolfpack at Boston College. Neither one of these teams scores a whole lot, folks. Give me the under on this, 52. I am not on this game. Next up, Iowa State at Kansas State. Don't know a lot about Kansas State. I believe they're playing their backup quarterback. I believe their starter's out. I don't have a good feel for this one either. I'm going to go with Iowa State minus 6.5. But again, don't have a good feel for this one, folks. This one was a very tricky game for me. Very tricky because I don't know who's playing starting quarterback in this game for the Oklahoma Sooners. Will it be the Arizona product from Phoenix, Spencer Rattler, the favorite to be drafted number 1 overall in the 2022 NFL draft pre the college football season? Or will it be Cornell Williams, who came in and won the game and looked much better than Rattler last week? To no one's surprise, especially yours truly, after you heard some of my takes on Spencer Rattler not living up to the expectations.
I believe the media will be left out of the loop as well. They don't have access now until Saturday afternoon after the game, I believe. So they won't be able to watch practice.
They will not be able to. Okay, thank you for that. I did not know that. So thank you for that little bulletin there, Mr. Game Day. I don't know how. This is just very tough when you don't know who's actually playing the game. But I'm gonna go with TCU plus 13.5. This was at 14. I think the idea that Williams might start pushes down to 13.5. If we knew Williams was starting, I think this would shoot up. I think this would shoot up to well over 14, probably closer to 17. But we don't know. So I think Williams will start. Personally, you don't mess with a good thing, and when you have a 24-point comeback in the second half, you'd be pretty silly not to play the guy who led you to that comeback. But that's a decision that Lincoln Riley gets to make, and he's paid millions of dollars to do so. And I'm not paid millions of dollars, and I'm doing this show for 100 viewers if we're lucky. So, but we do appreciate every single one of you. So thank you. But give me TCU plus 13.5. All right, I'll try to go quicker here. It's been a little bit of a long scenario here, so we'll try to go quicker here. Give me Army plus 14 at Wisconsin. The only games I'll give you summary and commentary on are games that I actually have money on for the rest of these games. UCLA plus the 2 at Washington. Not on that. Give me the over on the Air Force Boise State game, over 51. Now my game of the week, folks. This is my team. I love these guys. I love watching these guys. That you got to go into the weeds here. You got to have ESPN. You got to go to the 8th game that's available on ESPN. You got to have ESPN. You have to have ESPN Plus. You got to go into the 8th game that's available on ESPN Plus, and you might get the College Station radio feed for the audio there on the game. Well, let me tell you, some superb analysis by those 23-year-olds out of West Texas. So I'm on this game. Not only am I on the game for the spread personally, I am on this game for the money line, folks. And why is that a big deal? Because the team I'm on the money line for is the underdog. I got this game again. Benny Buckets knows what way the wind's blowing when it comes to these lines. I was on the money line when UTEP was plus 7. Now they're plus 6.5. Thank you very much. And we like the money line plus 220, but we'll give you the spread because that's what we do here on Line Breakers. So give me UTEP. I loved them plus 7. I like them a little less, plus 6.5. But give me them plus 6.5. But I am calling it right now. This is the upset special. UTEP winning outright, folks. The upset special. Gotta love UTEP. Gotta love the Miners. Shout out to West Texas. Put some respect on UTEP's name. Okay. Next up, this is a hometown game, Arizona State at Utah. Don't like either side of this, and from the looks of it, neither does the public because it's a pick'em game. So nobody knows which way to go on this one. I did like the under in this game. It was 51.5, and magically within the last few hours, it's down to 50.5. But I still like the under. Give me the under. Arizona State at Utah Utes under 50.5. And the final game, that was the penultimate game. This is the ultimate final game of the week. The Hawaii Rainbow Warriors, led by the former Arizona State coach Todd Graham, taking on the Nevada Wolfpack in a Reno night special on CBS Sports Network. Give me Hawaii plus the 14. If for no other reason, hopefully they'll still wear those cool shirts and luau, the luau necklaces for that game. And if they don't, then I probably won't ever pick them again. But for right now, give me Hawaii plus the 14.
Wow. Give a round of applause, folks, for that. Brilliant preview. I'm going to go a little quicker than that. Ben gave us a nice synopsis of each game. Our viewers certainly appreciate that. But I'm just going to give you my picks, and we'll see what happens here.
Well, not too quick, because we have to write.
Oh, yes, not too quick, because Ben needs to write down the states, the stadium, and then the line. So
we also, in addition, for where the college is located, in addition to the state and the stadium, we have to write down the state capital, because after all, this is also a geography show, as you were.
Yes, it is.
All right.
Anyways, yes. All right. Auburn versus Arkansas. I like Arkansas minus 4.5. I'm with Ben on that one.
Okay.
Central Florida versus Cincinnati. I like over 57.5.
Over 57.5. All right.
Florida versus LSU. I'm with you. I like the under 59.5.
Florida under 59.5. Okay.
This is another one where it was a little bit of a head scratcher. Michigan State versus Indiana. I do like Michigan State minus 4.5.
Michigan State minus 4.5. Okay.
Nebraska versus Minnesota. I like Nebraska minus 4.
Nebraska. Okay.
And this is our first difference. Ohio versus Buffalo. I like Buffalo minus 9.
Oh, he likes the hometown Bulls. Okay. Buffalo minus 9. Okay.
Oklahoma State versus Texas. Another difference of opinion here. I'll go Texas minus 5.
Texas minus 5. Okay.
Rutgers versus Northwestern. I like the over the 44.5.
Over 44.5. Okay.
A&M versus Missouri. I like over 59.5. That's Texas A&M.
Yep. 59.
Tulsa.
Yep.
Tulsa versus South Florida. I'm with you on Tulsa minus the 8.5.
Okay.
Duke versus Virginia under 69.
Oh, you're with me on that too. Okay.
I'm with you on that as well. Yes. Okay. Ball State versus Eastern Michigan. I like Eastern Michigan plus 1. You're over Ball State.
Eastern Michigan plus 1. Okay.
And then I'm with you on the Akron versus Miami of Ohio. I like Akron plus 19.5.
Okay.
Troy versus Texas State over 48.
Troy over 48. Okay.
Arizona versus Colorado. I liked all the reasons you said versus Colorado. That's why I'm going Arizona plus 6.
There you go. Plus 6. Okay.
BYU versus Baylor over 51.
Okay.
Bowling Green versus Northern Illinois. I like Northern Illinois minus the 9.5.
Okay.
These next couple of ones, I am in agreement with you. Fresno State versus Wyoming. I like the Fresno State minus 3.5.
Okay.
Kent State versus Western Michigan under 66.
All right.
Kentucky versus Georgia. Kentucky plus 23. That's just too many points for an undefeated team.
Mm-hmm.
Miami versus North Carolina. I like Miami plus 7.
Okay.
Pittsburgh versus Virginia Tech. Pittsburgh minus 5.
Yep.
Purdue versus Iowa. Iowa minus 11.5.
Iowa minus 11.5. Okay.
Toledo versus Central Michigan. I like the over 52.
Okay.
I am with you on the UAB versus Southern Miss game. Southern Miss is awful. Give me UAB minus 16. All I will say, they do show out for their games. Driving past these past couple of weeks, they do have a lot of trailers out there. The games get tailgating is pretty intense. Pretty intense. So,
does it compare to the Bills Mafia? Does it compare to the Bills Mafia?
Yes, not comparable, but
not comparable.
Next show, folks. Okay. Western Kentucky versus Old Dominion. I'll go under 67.
ODU under 67. Okay.
Texas Tech versus Kansas. I also like Texas Tech minus the 16.5.
Okay.
Vanderbilt versus South Carolina. I like South Carolina minus 18. Now, when I say I like, folks, half these games I don't really know as opposed to like. So it's just more of a feeling in our research, pre-production, what we like. So Rice versus UTSA. I'm going to go over the 53.5.
53. UTSA.
And I do actually like this game as well. Alabama versus Mississippi State. I believe Alabama is not going to lose twice, nor I think they're going to try to blow out Mississippi State. So give me Alabama minus 16.5.
All right. 16.5. Yep.
Colorado State versus New Mexico under the 46.
Okay.
Liberty versus UL Monroe. I agree with Ben. Liberty minus 32. Even though it's crazy for a team named Liberty to score more than to win by more than 32 points.
Yep.
We're gonna ride with it though. Lady Liberty. Utah State versus UNLV. Utah State minus 7.
There you go.
Iowa State versus Kansas State over 51.5.
Iowa State over 51. Okay.
Ole Miss versus Tennessee. Ole Miss commentators, the radio announcers, are some of the best announcers I've ever heard. I was driving back. I had a long road trip Saturday, and I was able to listen to that game on the radio, and they are unbelievable. It makes you feel like they are actually there. And what a game that was.
Yes, it was.
It didn't help us with the spread, but it was just
did not. We lost some money on that one, folks. We lost.
Yes, but it was still fascinating nonetheless.
Couldn't have gone with that 1 second. Couldn't have gone to 0 where we would have won by 7. Right. that would have been fine, but no. Of course, the home clock operator asleep at the switch. But
slow finger. So give me Ole Miss minus 2.5.
There we go.
NC State versus Boston College. I like NC State minus 3.
Okay.
Stanford versus Washington State. Stanford minus 1.5. I watched that game as well. Stanford had some unfortunate breaks, a couple of balls off the hands of receivers for interceptions, and I believe a pick six happened that way as well. But give me Stanford minus 1.5. Hopefully they turn it around under David Shaw, but who knows? TCU versus Oklahoma, like over 65.
Okay.
Army versus Wisconsin. When I say those teams, I'm already second guessing my pick here, but over 39.5. Just whenever I see 39, I'm gonna bet over. UCLA versus Washington. I like UCLA plus 2.
Okay.
Boise State versus Air Force. Boise State minus 4. Louisiana Tech versus UTEP. This is Benny Bucket's lock of the week, lock of the century. Money line. That's why I'm going Louisiana Tech minus 6.5.
There you go. Gotta go with minus 6.5. Louisiana.
And last two for you folks. Thank you for listening to all of this. And if you still have ink in your pen after writing all this down, we appreciate you. Arizona State versus Utah over 50.5.
Oh, over 50.
And then lastly, Hawaii versus Nevada. I am against Benny Buckets again. Nevada minus 14.
All right. Nevada minus 14.
So we should have some different records this time. I mean, last week you went, I believe, 24-22. I went 23-23. We were both 50% or over, which is pretty remarkable, all things considering. We've never picked this many games before, or picked college football to begin with.
That's true. We gotta wrap. What are your best bets here, game day? If you want to go with your three best
bets. All right. You know what? Why don't you give me your best bets first?
Trying to figure out what the
okay. I'll give you mine.
No, it's all right.
The pre-production meeting here. The pre-production meeting. All right. My first best bet is Ole Miss -2.5 versus Tennessee.
Okay. Ole Miss. Yep.
My second best bet. Again, folks, this is shooting from the hip here. My second best bet is going to be under 69 Duke versus Virginia.
Okay.
And my third best bet, take that as you will be Texas -5 versus Oklahoma State.
Texas -5. Okay. All right. Well, you already know my best bet is. My best bet, I already told you, is UTEP plus the 6.5, folks. That should be obvious. And believe me, there will be thousands of people watching that game on ESPN Plus, and I will count myself among them. It will be a ratings bonanza for ESPN. They will not have seen a Conference USA game with a better rating at ESPN in all their years of broadcasting Conference USA game, which I think is about 4 years. So be that as it may, take that as you want, as you wish. But so give me UTEP plus 6.5 with the editorial comments, of course. I'm looking through the rest of this card. What do I really like here? I am going to go with Arkansas minus the 4.5 over Auburn. That's my second best bet, minus the 4.5. And my third one, I gotta bet against Hattiesburg. Give me UAB minus 16 at SMU. So we'll give you 2 Conference USA games and an SEC game. Again, you got to bet the lower divisions here, folks. If you want to make money, you got to bet the lower divisions because people don't pay attention, and that's not where the money goes. You got to go where the money's not going. You got to go to the lower divisions. But so that is our college football picks this week. We are going to move right along here, rather expeditiously because that was not expeditious, to some futures here. That my fault, by the way. You know, but blame Buckets on that. Buckets gets the credit for the non-expeditious go through there. So sorry about that. But next we got some NBA futures here. So I am not going to give you any. I don't know if game day will, but we're going to give you 3 here. I am going to give you 3 totals, some win totals. I'm not going to give you a NBA futures championship bet. I just think you're just not getting the right odds on some of the teams that should make it and some of the teams that are long shots. You know, it's a crapshoot. So I'm not going to but I am going to give you 3 win totals. I don't know if Greg's going to do 3 win totals.
As am I, yes. Win totals is where it's at.
We'll defer to Greg here. I've been talking a lot here, so let's go to Greg first for his win
Sure.
totals.
All right, folks. So yeah, 3 NBA futures for you. The NBA season is upon us. I know I'm excited. There's a lot of good
1 week away, folks. Is 6 days.
1 week away.
6 days.
Yes,
6 days.
I believe Nets versus Bucks is the opener, I believe. But
and no Kyrie Irving, so who knew?
Yes, no Kyrie Irving. And that is going to be my first bet. I like the Nets over 56.5 on the win total.
Even without Kyrie Irving, huh? You don't
even without Kyrie, yes. Okay. Yes, even
that opened up, by the way, folks, just in case you were tracking, 54.5 that opened. That has been bet up to 56.5.
Yes, and I think it'll continue to be bet up. It might actually be bet down now with the Kyrie news, but right. I still like the Nets. KD, Harden, they have a ton of young talent. One name to watch out for is Cam Thomas, drafted this year out of LSU. He is a bucket getter. He can score from any point on the court. Harden said he is in a better position than what he was coming out of college. So that's quite the accolades for a rookie there. So I like Nets over 56.5. And the win total, my second is a little bit of a homer pick. I am a New York Knicks fan, but I love the Knicks over the 41.5 in the win total. They've brought in some new talent with Kemba Walker, Evan Fournier, and they still have a lot of existing talent and developing talent like Emmanuel Quickly and Obi Toppin. I just think Tom Thibodeau will get this team to at least the 4 seed, maybe the 3. maybe the 3 in Eastern Conference. But yeah, no, I like the Knicks a lot this year, and Julius Randle is continuing to put that work into the gym. He looks like a beast. Even though he got that big contract, I still think he's going to have a great year. So look for that over. And then the last one is a bit surprising. This team has a lot of young talent. Give me the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Wow.
Over the 34.5.
The A-Rod owned Minnesota.
A-Rod owned.
A-Rod
Yes.
owned. Wow.
Yes.
Do you think A-Rod will be a part of the roster this year? Will he be making appearances in the game?
If there's a couple injuries, who knows?
Is that the reason you're picking him? Is because of the A-Rod factor?
No, the reason I picked them is because of Anthony Edwards and Carl Anthony Towns together on the same floor.
What is the total? What is the total? The total wins?
34.5. 34.5.
Well, they would have to significantly improve because I believe last year they were in the 20s, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, but with everybody healthy this year, let's see if they can turn it around. It's an out there one. I'm pretty confident on the Knicks one, pretty confident on the Nets, and I thought I'd give you guys a little obscure one that you guys might not see out in the betting world other than this show. But yeah, those are my 3 NBA futures for you folks. And Ben, I'm sure you have some fire ones as well.
Yes, I do. I have an agreement. We are in agreement there on the Knicks. That was I did get that in person at the Caesars Sportsbook there at Chase Field in downtown Phoenix. Give the Knicks over the 41.5. We're in that one for 110 to win 210. So we do like the Knicks very much. Again, for all the reasons Greg talked about, I think that they won 41 games last year, if I'm not mistaken, and they won 41 and they only played 72 games. So what Vegas is telling you is that they're actually going to be worse this year than they were last year. And I don't see that happening. I think they'll be better this year in the second year of the Thibodeau system. Adding in Fournier, adding in Kemba Walker, I don't see how they're worse. I mean, they lost Reggie Bullock, and they I don't know, they've probably lost a couple other pieces as well, but nobody of consequence. I mean, assuming Fournier and Walker probably won't be healthy based on track record, but Fournier is a really underrated player. He was outside the best non-U.S. player in the Olympics. For those of you who watched the Olympics this year, he was better than Rudy Gobert on the French team, and he was the best player, like I said, in the Olympic Games outside of U.S. competitors. So I like the Knicks a lot. I agree. I frankly think this should be closer to 46-47, not 41.5. So I think this is a good one for the Knicks fans. And I'm a little surprised because the Knicks are a public team, so typically they shade higher than they should. This year, they're definitely, to me, under where they should be. So give me the Knicks over 41.5. The next one I'm going to give you guys is a trendy team. Made a lot of offseason acquisitions. This team looks very different from how they did a year ago. And that is the Chicago Bulls. So Chicago Bulls over 42.5. Some places might have it at 43 or 43.5, but I still like them either way over that. The Bulls, because they added on Lonzo Ball. They are bringing back Vucevic, who they got last year in a midseason trade. They did trade Lauri Markkanen out just because they didn't have any space for him. But this is a really dynamic team with Zach LaVine and
DeMar DeRozan.
DeMar DeRozan's added in there. So very deep team. Kobe White is going to back up, which I think is a better spot for him as opposed to being the start like he was last year for Chicago. And I love Billy Donovan. If you look at Billy Donovan, everywhere he's gone, he's done well. He won 2 national championships with Florida. He made the playoffs every year with OKC that he was there. And if you look at the teams after he leaves, more importantly, if you look at Florida men's basketball after Billy Donovan left, never have had the same success, never been a perennial Final Four team, never have been a perennial top 25 team for that matter in the SEC. And then OKC last year was just one of the absolute worst teams in all of college, in all of the NBA. So every time Billy Donovan leaves somewhere, the team gets worse, and every time he goes somewhere, the team gets better. That's a sign of a great coach to me. So give me Chicago over the 42.5 or 43.5, depending. I got it 42.5, but that was 2 weeks ago. So depending on 42, 43.5, I still like Chicago to win close to 50 games. And then my final one is a little bit obscure. They were a bubble team last year. They did make the play-in. It's not a bubble, but a play-in team in the 9-10 game. Give me Charlotte Hornets over 37.5. Reason why? Reason why, folks, is they won 37 games last year. Again, 2 reasons. They won 37 games last year, and Lonzo Ball missed 4 or 5 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. Or Lonzo, LaMelo Ball. LaMelo. There's so many L balls. It's hard to track of all the L balls. But
there's your quote of the day, folks. So many L balls. It's hard to keep track.
But LaMelo Ball did miss 5 weeks, I believe, last year. Still won Rookie of the Year, and the team won, I think, like 36 games, 37 games last year. Again, in 72 total games. So I do like them very much so from that standpoint. So give me Charlotte over the 37.5. I think that they will be over 500 this year. They have a deeper roster too. Terry Rozier is their starting point guard, underrated in my opinion. Gordon Hayward, if he could ever stay healthy, that would be nice. Miles Bridges, a very underrated. He'll be starting for them this year. And James Bouknight. A lot of people don't know the Bouknight, but the Bouknight is very impressive as well as looked good in the preseason. So give me Charlotte over 38.5. 37.5.
All right, let me set this up for you, Ben. Now we're going into our NHL futures.
NHL futures. The National Hockey League.
If you guys have been listening with us, you know Ben loves his National Hockey League picks. He loves all things hockey. He's just a hockey aficionado. And I certainly look towards Ben for hockey picks. He seems to be on the money most times with hockey. I am a diehard Buffalo Sabres fan, but it's kind of hard to be a diehard Buffalo Sabres fan nowadays. Probably going to have one of the worst records in the league, if not the worst. But yeah, go ahead.
Historically bad.
Yes.
When you can lose 17 games in a row in a season, you're a historically bad franchise, unfortunately.
Right. Win. Yes. But yeah, if you have one of the best, if not the best NFL team and the worst NHL team in the same city there.
Most people would take that trade.
Yes, I would as well. We don't have an ice rink here within, I think we have one within a 50-mile radius here in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. So, all right, go ahead, Ben. Give us your.
So NHL. All right, so I'm going to give you guys a couple. I'm going to give you 3 NHL. I'm going to give you 1 Stanley Cup, just because I think there's good value here. So I like the Florida Panthers. The Florida Panthers plus 2,200 to win the Stanley Cup. Couple reasons why. This team perennially last 4 or 5 years has been one of the top 3 to 4 offensive teams in the league. What's different this year, you may ask? So they finally made the playoffs last year after missing out for about 3 or 4 years. They always can score a lot of goals, but they always give up a lot of goals. And they do. They don't play very good defense, and they play very up-tempo, very entertaining. One of the most entertaining teams in the league to watch. But they are not a very good defensive team. Now, what's changed? Well, they still are very up-tempo. They still have one of the better offensive teams in the league. But the difference is this year, Spencer Knight, their first-round draft pick, goaltender from 2018, I want to say, will now be sharing the net now that Chris Drager, the backup last year or timeshare last year, he shared with Sergei Bobrovsky, who they gave us a 7-year, $10 million a year contract to, I believe, a couple off seasons ago. He has left. He was claimed by the Seattle Kraken, who said that he was going to be their starter, and then they went out and signed Philippe Grubauer. So that promise lasted about 3 seconds, but that promise lasted about as long as Andy Dalton being the starting quarterback for the Bears, folks, for you football aficionados. But so Spencer Knight is going to be, here is the bold prediction here, folks. Spencer Knight will be one of the top 10 goalies in the NHL by the end of the season. He is that good. So I think with a very good goalie, Bobrovsky is not what he was. He's not the Vezina winner he was 4 or 5 years ago when Florida signed him, but he's still serviceable. I mean, a serviceable timeshare backup goalie shouldn't be making $10 million a year, but that was a mistake that Florida wished they had that move back. But I like Florida. I like Florida a lot. So give me Florida, the Florida Panthers, for the first time in franchise history to take home the Stanley Cup plus 2,200. This opened up at plus 3,000 back in the summer. It got down to plus 25. Money's coming in on Florida, folks, plus 2,200. And I will have you know that Greg Wyshynski, the ESPN, the great ESPN writer, he fully agrees with me, Florida plus the 2,200 on the daily wager 2 days ago. So give me Florida plus the 2,200 for the Stanley Cup. Next up, I've got a couple of over-under point totals for you. Now, you got to get these in quick because the season started. One of them, frankly, you can't get in, but I'll give it to you anyway because I have money on it. And that is the Pittsburgh Penguins under. I want to say it was 96.5. Let me look it up real quick. I don't know if it was 94 now. I can't.
That would be helpful, yes, for the viewers. That would be
get the exact. I mean, not that they can put it in at this point because the season started, but for posterity here. Let's see. So I gotta look it up. So Pittsburgh. Oh no, I did not. I actually bet something else. So I thought I'll have to give you something else. This is still a future, I guess. The Pittsburgh Penguins to not make the playoffs. That was what I bet. I thought I bet the points, but I didn't. So Pittsburgh Penguins, no playoffs, plus 250 odds. So you're getting really good odds here. I just think I know they won last night. Give them credit. Give them full credit without Sidney Crosby. No Evgeny Malkin for the first 3 months of the year after I believe he had shoulder surgery. He's going to be out until January or February. But Tristan Jarry is very overrated. Did not have a good postseason last year. Their backup is not very good. Colby DeSmith, I believe. And I just think this is an older team in a very tough division in the Metropolitan Division. You've got Carolina, you've got the Rangers, you've got Washington, you've got an improved Devils team, you've got Philadelphia who's improved. Really no weak spots there other than Columbus, who is awful. They will be one of the top 3 worst teams in the league, along with Greg's Buffalo Sabres, probably my Arizona Coyotes, and the Columbus Blue Jackets, probably the worst 3 teams in the league. But give me them missing the playoffs. I just don't think that they're better than the Rangers, Flyers, or Islanders, or Washington for that matter. And I just don't see them making the playoffs here. So give me Pittsburgh to miss the playoffs plus 250. And my final bet for you guys, this is a points total. This one I did get in. Actually, no, I didn't get in, and I probably won't bet it, but I do like it. Boston Bruins under 103.5 points. I just don't think the Bruins are that good. I mean, I don't know. They're an older team, injury prone. Patrice Bergeron, Marchand gets hurt a lot. They're now, Tuukka Rask had surgery, and apparently he's maybe going to come back. Who knows? Supposed to come back, maybe not come back. He says if he comes back, he's only going to re-sign with Boston. He's actually technically a free agent. He is not signed for this year. But Linus Ullmark, a curious choice. Linus Ullmark, they gave a 4-year, $20 million contract to. Now, granted, didn't have a whole lot to play in front of him in Buffalo, as game day Greg could attest to, but a bit pricey for a guy who has an awful, win percentage. Granted, not his fault, but a bit pricey for a guy who has not proven, we'll say. They would have been better off, in my opinion, going after Philippe Grubauer if they wanted to pay a goalie. That's a much more proven goalie who has been in the Vezina running. He didn't win last year, but was in the Vezina running and has been 2 of the last 3 years. So, in my opinion, bad move, overpaying for Ullmark, and I don't think you can really trust him. And their backup is some guy named Jack Swayman, who I've never heard of. So I like the Bruins. I think they'll be good. I think they'll be in the 90s, but I don't think they'll crack 100, which is why I like Bruins under 103.5.
Beautiful. All right, get those in, or just watch
the
them.
Bruins one you can still get in. The Pittsburgh one, I think you're probably closed out on because they already played a game. But
right,
and then of course you can still get Florida in. But go ahead.
No, we appreciate that, Benny Buckets. My 3 NHL futures, I'll go a little quicker here. There's 2 that there's a team that I really like that I'm betting them twice. So my first is going to be the President's Trophy winner, the Colorado Avalanche plus 300. I'm going with the favorite here. I think the Avalanche are absolutely loaded. They just score a ton. They have a pretty good defense. Their goaltending is good. So I
have
just
2 goalies who can't stay healthy, but that's okay.
I just love their offense. Love their
Fair
offense.
enough,
So
fair
give me the Avalanche plus 300 President's Trophy. It would be pretty funny if I beat you in these futures, seeing as you are the much bigger hockey fan than I.
Well, you're picking easy teams. It's easy to pick Colorado. Anybody can do that.
Oh yeah.
I gave you tough picks. I gave you things that you need knowledge for. You're just picking the top dog. Anybody can do that.
No. This is the President's Trophy winner out of everyone. This is out of everyone.
But
So you never know what happens.
You pick the favorite. You're not giving me anything difficult. You pick the favorite.
Get out of here. I'm picking another favorite just because you said that.
There we go. Yes.
Western Conference, Avalanche plus 175. These are futures for you folks. I want you guys to have the opportunity to actually win them. Not brag to your buddies that Panthers plus 2,200 to win the Stanley Cup.
You want to go with the Avalanche again? Just make it a three-peat?
No, I'm going to go Metropolitan Division winner. I'm going to go with the Islanders plus 300. They're another team that's young, loaded with talent. Another favorite, but I like to give you guys some potential winners. I'm sure Benny Buckets does as well. He has a little more value in his picks. But
there are more long shots.
I'm just going with favorites here. I'm going with favorites.
Fair enough. All right, you played it straight up. Well, listen, if you don't follow it as in depth, that's what you got to do. You got to go with the favorites.
That's right. All right, folks. Well, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. We covered a lot in this show, college football, NBA, NHL futures. Be on the lookout for a second episode this week, our normal NFL preview show. So be on the lookout for that. But for now, the Game Day Greg alongside Benny Buckets, and we'll see you later.
I'll see you later.